for the warm welcome. Hello, I'm Vinita Zushi, and आप सबको पता ही है, we are going to do a workshop on creative writing. So जब मैं आई थी तो कुछ लोगों ने मुझे बताया कि उनका आइडिया ऑफ क्रिएटिव राइटिंग क्या है, जो आप स्कूल में कुछ भी अपने मन से लिखते हैं, कुछ ऐसे और whatever it is. But आज मैं जो आपको कराने जा रही हूँ is a totally different sort of creative writing workshop. I want to talk to you about how you can use your imagination to make something very very interesting. और इस तरह की creative writing हम कहाँ इस्तेमाल करते हैं? जब when we need to write short stories, when we need to write books, when we need to write maybe plays जो स्टेज पे होती हैं. Yes, exactly. नाटक is play. When we need to write a script for a TV show जो कि टेलीविजन में रिकॉर्ड होके आती है, or for a film, or even poetry. ठीक है? So today we are going to talk about how we can use our imagination to make something very real for the person who is reading or watching it. ठीक है? तो मैंने आपको बताया what is creative writing generally, और मैंने आपको बताया कि इस creative writing को हम किस किस चीज़ों में यूज़ करते हैं. Short story, novel, play, TV script, poetry, etc. I'm going to read you a little bit and then read you. This book is called Cosmic. The volume, I don't like this volume. I'm whispering. Is this better? Better? Yeah, better. Now, Cosmic is a book. Cosmic is a book. Can you all hear me? Yeah. Cosmic is a book about a boy who is in class 6. There's something very special about this boy. He's super tall. Okay? So, what comes you here? This boy is very tall. Yeah? Now, I'm reading from the book. This is not the beginning of the book. Even though I could barely see my premature facial hair, once I knew it was there, I could not stop thinking about it. It was ticklish, and I was tempted to keep stroking it. But when I stroked it, it made other people notice, and they said, "Wolverine!" That made it much worse. Which is why I decided to get rid of it. I slashed at the brown candy floss with Dad's razor, which did get rid of it. Sadly, it also got rid of a lot of blood. Sheets of blood just fell out of my face. I wasn't quite sure what to do, so I just squashed a towel into my chin. I prayed that I wouldn't die, and I kept on squashing it and praying for about 1 hour. I was starting to think that maybe I was already dead when Mom called me for supper. When I went down, she said, "What happened to you? You look like you boiled your face." Dad said, "He's been shaving." What? He can't shave. He's too young to shave. He's much too young to shave. Well, he's definitely too young to have a beard, said Dad. And then Dad showed me how to shave in a less life-threatening manner. The only thing is, now that you have started, you will have to carry on shaving. Mom said, "Liam, you've got to stop growing so fast. I'm not ready to lose my little boy yet." Mom got so worked up about all this that she took me to see the doctor. The doctor said, "There's nothing to worry about." That made Mom really worried. She asked to see the specialist. At the hospital, they gave me scans, blood tests, and a sticker saying I have been brave. They took me to see a specialist and then a special specialist. What said that I was normal, completely normal, extra normal. Now, if you talk, you're going to miss. I have lots of really fun stuff, so you have to be shush. Extra normal, abnormally normal, but tall. He's just a little boy, said Mum. He's growing up too quickly. We all feel like this about our children, Mrs. Digby, said the doctor. The important thing to remember is that he is still a child, even though he looks like a grown-up. You might go back after the summer, Liam, and find that every boy in class has had a bit of a spurt. And maybe you're not even the tallest in the class. You know, that makes sense, said Mum. His dad was tall in primary school. And now look at him. He's well below average height. In fact, said Dad, I'm slightly above average. In fact, you're not. Only very, very slightly, but very, very definitely I am above average. We'll talk about this another day, said Mum, which is what she always says when she wants you to shut up. The special specialist was partly right about the growing spurts. Nearly everyone had one over the summer, including me. Oh, said Mum, when she measured my height against the wall. You had a spurt. Dad said 7 inches in one summer is not a spurt. It is a mutation. Now, 7 inches to grow in one summer. Okay. Yeah. So, now I want to talk to you. You have no questions. I'm talking to you. The most important thing whenever we are thinking of creative writing, a short story or a book, is this. This is what we're going to study. What is creative writing? What is the goal? And what are the elements? The goal is to keep people reading or listening or watching. I already told you the forms. I told you the goal. Character. So the most important thing whenever you're trying to write something creatively, like a story or a book, is think of your main character. Now I read you a part. What do we know about this character? Is he serious?
No.
Is he funny?
Yes.
What else do we know? He's very tall.
He's careless. Careless.
Why do we say careless?
Because he doesn't, he did a lot of blood from.
Do you know how to shave? So, if you try the first time, you may cut yourself. He's not careless. Okay?
He's once to shave at 2 years old. I accidentally started.
We are not going to go into personal stories. So, a character has to be interesting. Not every character needs to be interesting. What do we know about this character? What are this character's relationships? They have a mom? They have a dad? They go to school? Now can you imagine what would be the... Now suppose you've thought of this person. I want this character, I want this boy, I want him to be like very, very tall. Now this is a special thing which can give rise to a lot of issues. Maybe this tall person stands for his father in the line to make a new driving license. His father says, "Beta, just stand here for a minute. I have to go to the washroom." And because he is so tall, the person says, "Oh, hello, Mr. So-and-so, come, I will make your driving license." And so he gets a driving license in grade 6. Maybe. Yeah? All kinds of things can happen when you are so super tall.
But he can go to all the rides in the water park.
Exactly, and he does. Okay, so this is a fabulous book. If you can get it, you should get it. It's called Cosmic. It's by, I will give you the names of the books later, alright? Yes, speak where you are. Where is the bed? Whenever there is a... Yes, if you have to be below a certain height, he will miss out on certain things. I'll tell you later. This book is called, otherwise known as Sheila the Great.
Oh, I love this.
So this is a girl in class 4. I'm glad there's only one more week of school before summer vacation. Today was so hot. My clothes stuck to me and my brain felt all tired out. I didn't even finish my math in school. So now I have to do it for homework. I walked into the lobby of my apartment building thinking how good a big cold drink would taste. I pushed the up elevator button and waited. When the elevator got to the lobby, Henry opened the gate, the elevator, the lift lobby, the lift person, lift worker, attendant, and I stepped in. Just as he was about to take me upstairs, Peter Hatcher and his dumb old dog came tearing down the hall. "Wake up, Henry, wake up! Here I come!" "Please don't wait, Henry." I said, "The elevator's too small for that dog." But Henry opened the gate and waited. This elevator can hold 10 people, or the equivalent, Henry said. And I figure that the dog is the equivalent of 1.5 people. So with me and you and Peter and that dog, we've still got only 4.5 people. Sometimes I wish Henry did not spend so much time thinking. "Hi, Henry. Thanks for waiting," said Peter. "Anytime, Peter." Henry told him. "Excuse me, please," I said, stepping out of the lift. I held my nose. I can't ride up with that dog. He stinks. My heart was beating so loud. I was sure Henry and Peter would hear it. And I know that Turtle the dog was laughing at me. He stuck out his tongue and licked the corners of his mouth. I bet he could taste me already. I walked down the hall with my head held high. Henry called, 10 flights up. It's a long walk, Sheila. I don't mind. I called back. Henry was right. 10 flights up is a long walk. By the time I got to my floor, I was laughing so hard that I had to sit down on the landing and rest. Little drips of sweat ran from my face down to my neck. Still, I think it's pretty smart of me to pretend that I hate Turtle because he smells. I always hold my nose when I see Peter coming with him. That way, you never know the truth. Now, who is this person? What do we know about this person? Let me tell you, her name is Sheila.
Mom, that she doesn't like Peter's dog Turtle.
She doesn't like the dog.
She also doesn't like to go to school in summers because it's too hot.
I mean, hot. He Heat is something we are all struggling with. Yeah. Don't stand up. Just don't. Huh.
She was in fourth class.
She was?
In fourth class.
No, that I told you. You didn't read it. Okay.
Mom,
You read the book, so give others a chance. Yeah. Is she? She's funny in her own way. But what else is she in the part that we read? She is? My heart was beating so loudly means what is she?
she's not nervous.
Scared. She's scared of the dog. Okay? Let me read a bit more. After a few minutes, no, you can take it later, right? Nobody's going to run away with it. Sit down. Don't distract. After a few minutes, I wiped my face with the back of my hand and walked down the hall to our apartment. Mrs. Rees is the only person with the dog on our floor. And I don't worry too much about her. Because her dog is so small, she carries him around in her arms. She calls him baby. And she makes him little sweaters to wear in the winter. I pushed open our apartment door and went straight into the kitchen to get something to drink. Is that you, Sheila? My mother called. Yes, I answered. Did you have fun at Laurie's? Yes, I said, gulping down a whole can of apple juice. Is it still hot out? Yes. Did you remember to bring home a quart of milk? I knew I forgot something. Sheila, did you bring home the milk? Mom called again. No, I forgot. I went into the living room then. My mother was reading a book. The CD player was on, and my sister Libby was twirling around in her pink toe slippers. She is 13 and thinks she's a great ballerina. I could hold my nose for the way Libby dances. I'd get into big trouble if I did. My mother said, "You better go back down and get the milk, Sheila." I flopped into the big chair that didn't stack and said, "I can't, Mom. I'm dead." I just walked up the stairs. "Don't tell me the elevator is out of order," said Mom. "No." "Then why did you walk up 10 flights?" I said, I don't know. I just felt like it. Sheila, that was a very foolish thing to do in this heat. Now, go into your room and lie down for a while before supper. Do I have to? Yes, you do. Libby will go to the store and get the milk. Libby did 3 flying leaps before she stopped and said, "Can't you see I'm in the middle of a routine?" "Your routine can wait," Mom said. "I need the milk for supper and Daddy will be home soon." "But Mother, I'm in my leotard," Libby said. Libby used to say Mom like me. But since she started junior high, it's Mother this and Mother that. She's very strange. Mom told Libby, "You can put a skirt over your leotard and nobody will notice." "Sheila, what are you waiting for? I told you to go and lie down." Okay, I'm going. I took off my shoes and arranged them on the floor so that the door was pointed towards the bedroom. I line them up every day before my father comes home. It's part of a private game that Daddy and I play. I'm always hiding somewhere and Daddy has to find me. His only clue is my shoes. I invented this game when I was 7. I invented it. And we have been playing it ever since. Libby said that when she was 10, she acted a lot more grown up than me. I think she missed out on some good fun. Anyway, Daddy would be disappointed if I stopped playing. Libby and I share a bedroom. I stretched out on my bed while Libby turned the closet upside down looking for a skirt. "You are a pig," she said to me. "You know that she Is your dog in the elevator? I bet that's it. I bet Mrs. Reese was in the elevator with baby. Wrong! I said. Libby finally found a skirt and pulled it over her head. Over her leotard. Then I bet it was Peter Hatcher and Turtle. Maybe it was and maybe it wasn't. Chicken, 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 chicken. Libby said and left. I put my hands over my ears to show that I wasn't even listening. What do we know about this character?
Libby is afraid of you.
She's afraid of dogs. Can we see her relationship with her sister?
Yes.
So strange. Always, oh, she doesn't say I'm forced to share a room with my sister, but she feels, you know. So when you are writing your character, the main character in your book, you need to think about the 5 W's. What are the 5 W's? Who, what, where, when, why. Okay? Who is this person? Physically, what does this person look like? Now, in all this that I read to you about Libby, do we know anything about her physically? Do we know how tall she is or if she's short? No. Do we know how old she is? No. Not in what I told you class 4, but I told you that. You don't know how old she is. You do know. Because she started when she was 7 and her sister says she's now 10. Very good. Her sister says when I was 10, I used to be much more sensible than you. Okay, so the sister is 13. No, then Libby is now 13.
Yes, you read that part that she was 13.
Libby is 13, not Sheila. Sheila is 10, yeah. Do we know what color her eyes are? No. Do we know if she's fat or thin? No. Do we know if she has curly hair or what color hair she has? Do we know anything about her skin tone? Nothing. But slowly, as we move down the book, little bits and pieces of that picture will keep coming. For example, maybe on another page, it will say, oh, I hate how my hairbrush keeps getting tangled in my curls. At that moment, you're like,
Curly hair.
curly hair. S nahi. Curly hair. Okay? Yeah. So whenever you are thinking of a character, you need to know everything about them physically. Do not, hello, I'm Libby, I'm so many years old, I have this color skin, I have this color eyes, I have 17 teeth, I have my cheeks, these are the shape of my lips, my ears are like this, my hair is like, no. Because what is your goal in creative writing? They should keep reading, they should want to keep reading. If I read you a story like this, what are you going to do?
Want to keep just close the book and then sleep.
You'll be bored and you will want to leave it and run away, or you'll be fast asleep before you can even want to run away. Okay? So if you want to keep people interested, you have to discuss who. You also have to see who this person is emotionally, not just physically. So emotionally, are they very sure of themselves? Are they funny? Are they worried? Are they angry? Are they hurt? Are they scared? Are they doubtful? Are they very unsure? Do they have some other issue that we don't know about but we can hint at? Okay? Who this person is, we can also find out through their relationships. When I read to you about Liam, the very tall boy, what is his relationship with his mom and dad? Is he very frightened of them?
No.
Not at all, right?
Because he has tall.
You can just, from the text itself, nowhere in that portion that I read you or anywhere in the whole book, do you ever read the words or hear the words that say, oh, he got on really well with his mom and his dad. But you get the sense from the way everything is being told, right? That they have a great relationship, they get on. You also have a sense of the relationship between the mom and the dad, right? They are very happy to argue in front of the son. And how he says, and this is what mom says when she wants you to shut up. So it means now the dad has to shut up and not speak anymore. Okay? So that is mentally. Is this a super somebody who's fabulous on the sports field but not very good with academics. You should know your character, whichever is the main character you are writing about. Okay? And again, relationships. Who are their friends? What sort of relationships do they have? I hate Libby because she's always irritating me. She's fighting with me.
She's making me angry.
She's, irritating me is that, right? She's irritating me. She's making me angry. She makes fun of me. Okay? Yeah. So, she's so fancy schmancy. Why is she so strange? Just now she was calling mom. Now why is she calling her mother? Why has daddy suddenly become father? Why is she so peculiar? So there is this. But do you think she really hates her sister?
Yes,
No, this is the normal love-hate that you have. When you're living together, you just feel, oh God, this one is so irritating. But if for some reason something were to happen to Libby, I'm sure she could miss her. At least from what little I have read to you. Just now. If
Ma'am, going.
question?
And the
Yeah. Libby, yeah.
Anthony.
How many of you are 13 here?
About to be.
It's time to spread your wings a bit and show how special you are, right? It's a very normal thing to happen. You'll get there. Don't worry. And then you'll get out of it also. So these are just the waves of living your life as you grow older. Every main character in your writing must have a goal. The goal can be very simple. As Sheila, my goal can be nobody should ever get to know throughout my life that I am scared of dogs. This is my goal. I want to avoid something. What do you want to avoid? That people get to know I am scared of dogs. Okay? Liam? She's pretending she doesn't like the smell, but actually she's scared. She's only pretending she doesn't like the smell. Okay? Who increased this to 22? बड़ी मेहनत से मैंने 18 किया था. The place is boiling. The kids are also boiling. Are you cold? Is anybody here feeling cold? Sorry. Give me all of them. Leave it there. Turn everything to me. No, leave it. Okay, relax everybody. Turn it up. Then it हवा इनको नहीं direct आएगी. That might make it easier for them. It is. Can I have your attention once again? Thank you very much. So every character has a goal. The goal can be to achieve something. Maybe you're not sure whether your mother loves you or not. Whoa, that is a heavy problem of hamster. I'm waiting for everyone to be quiet. Okay, that's a very short answer. Suppose your character is not sure that their mother loves them. That is a heavy-duty problem, and the goal is to find out. From here, the whole story will flow. Should I set a test for my mother? Let me say today, can you please buy me a chocolate? Now, if she says yes, you may feel she loves you. And if she says no, you may feel she doesn't love you. But suppose she says no, and you say, oh my God, she doesn't love me. And then you read a book or you're listening to somebody and they say, oh, this is a very stupid way of finding out whether your mother loves you or not. Maybe she's busy, You know, maybe she's thinking of something else. Maybe it's a nuisance to buy you a chocolate at the moment. The app is not working. You know, it's okay. This is a very stupid day. Do something wrong and see how she behaves. Just look around and you think, what is the wrong thing I can do? Maybe.
Make the best. Make class. Make a bus.
I'll just take this mug
And go to the home. And I'll break
and
it.
just break it.
And then,
What do you think the mum is going to say? Is she going to say, oh my lovely, I'm so proud of you? Nobody is going to say that.
This is school.
Yeah. She's going to be so angry. She's going to be mom. Look at how old you are. Why are you going to take a seat? Speak. Don't stand up. Now suppose many tests the child sets for the mother, okay? And in all those tests, it comes the mother doesn't love me, doesn't love me, doesn't love me. So the child becomes sadder and sadder and sadder and sadder and sadder because this is not a stepmother, this is your own mother. And now what the hell are you going to do because your mother doesn't love you? And you just decide, okay, I'm not going to live in a house where my mother doesn't love me. My Masi loves me very much. I'm going to run away to my Masi. When Masi comes to me, I will go out to say, oh, I love you, Masi, and quietly I get into the dicky of her car. Then when she goes home, I will knock on the inside. So imagine this. I'm telling you how from your character, I'm showing you how to do creative writing. From creating your character and from the goal of this character, your whole story starts flowing. What's going to happen in the story, okay? Now suppose you've decided, the child has decided, yes, I'm going to run away to Masi. I will not be with my mother anymore. Okay? And then, when the child is absolutely ready to run away, they have said, I can't leave my favorite clothes and my favorite toys and things behind, so I pack a small, in my school bag, I'll pack a few important things of mine, which I don't want to live without. And when they are getting ready, they decide to go to the bathroom and also look at, if they have bath toys or just wash up and be clean and nice, so Masi will be happy to see them so clean. And at that time, the mother and the Masi come into the room. And the mother, they don't know the child is in the bathroom. And the child hears the mom tell the Masi, I love this child so much. But for the past 2 months, I don't understand. Something has been going on. This one never breaks anything. But one day, she broke that mug. And I had a feeling she had broken it on purpose, but she's such a good and careful child. Why will she break that mug? I'm afraid she's really worried about something. And please tell me how I can help her. I'm so worried, but I don't know who to talk about. But you're my sister, and you are his Masi, and you love her Masi, and you love her so much. You tell me. We have to solve this problem. I love this child so much. I feel there is some pain, some terrible problem this child is going through. I've tried to find out. I've tried to ask. I very vaguely, when some friends come to play, I try to listen to what the friends are talking about. Maybe I learn something. Maybe someone's bullying my child. Maybe someone's being mean. But I never find out what the problem is. But God, I can't bear this pain. Now think of this child in the bathroom, listening to all this, and they're like, oh. I said all these tests, and I thought my mother failed all these tests. But she's paying so much attention to me. She's noticing everything that's going on, and she's so worried, and she's wondering what's going on with me. I think she really does love me, so okay, I don't need to run away. And that could be the end of your story. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So, this goal can be, I want something or I want to avoid something. I broke some want to avoid the punishment. That's my goal. Okay? Or I want something, whatever that something is. It could be a person. When you're older, I want that person to like me. I want to come first in maths. I don't care if I fail everything else, but maths I'll come first because in my family, everybody comes first in maths. And I'm the first person who is not coming first in maths. But I'm a part of my family and I have to prove this to everyone in my family and I have to prove it to myself also. Could be anything. Okay? What is the motivation for your goal? This is, a motivation is different from a goal.
Motivation is that
Everybody understands, I'm putting it in words for you, okay?
we started and then we
The goal is Sheila doesn't want people to know that she's afraid of dogs. What is the motivation? She feels people will laugh at her, they will think you are such a coward. Such small children play with dogs and you are afraid of dogs? You're just a coward. That's her motivation. You understand? This child wants to find out, does my mother love me or not? That's the goal. Why? Because maybe there were a few months where the mother was really, really angry or annoyed or something happened and he had read in some book that if these things happen, you know, you read so many things these days, you watch so many videos and it says if your mother does this, it means she doesn't love you. And he's like, oh my God, my mother doesn't love me. Let me check, is this true or not? There is a motivation always, okay? So that's your character. From character we go to setting. Every story needs to have a setting. Time means not just time of day. Whether something happens in the day or the night can make a big difference. Suppose a child is, this boy or this girl is thinking of running away with Masi. Or Masi lives 2 streets away. So I will simply just run out of the house and go to Masi's house. I've gone many times with my mother. To do it at night alone is different. And to do it in the daytime is different. Right? Those are 2 different stories. To do it in 2025 on the 23rd of May, 24th of May is different. To do it in 1945 on the 25th or 24th of May is different. First of all, your Masi may not live in the same village also. Where is the transport? Maybe she lives really far away. You just lived in your little spaces, right? Maybe you would have to steal a bicycle and go. You would not have to worry about trucks and cars and buses and all because there is not so much transport on the roads. Maybe you had donkeys in the house and you would just get up on a donkey and hold your bag and on the donkey. Yeah? It could be anything. Suppose you are going to run away from your mother in 2045, 20 years from now. Or maybe you can't run away from your mother. Why? Everybody has a chip in their body which will tell everyone where you are at any point in time. So nobody, 2045, 20 years from now in the future, maybe. We are imagining, okay? What kind of future are you creating? Suppose you think of some human being who lived in 1553. What was the world like? Is it summer? Is it winter? Is it rainy season? Do you think in 1945, living would be walking up 10 flights of stairs? There must not have been that many buildings which were so tall.
And the invention of cement also was not given.
Cement?
Cement.
No, 1945 there was lots of cement and before that also. So we need to be very, very sure. Okay, are we running away in New Delhi?
No.
Maybe. Today. Today, are we running away in Singapore? Today, are we running away in the Amazon rainforest? Place. So depending on where the colleagues at Sanskriti school. After school, there were 15 children, and we used to meet 2 hours every Tuesday or every Thursday or something for the full 10 or 12 weeks. I don't remember now, quite a long time back. And every time we would go a little bit, and they would write and they would read their stories. So now this is class 6 to 9, okay? 15, 16 children. And they wrote, and okay, read. So one boy read, Charlie was waiting to give his 10th board exams. Charlie lived in New York, and it was the first day of his board exams, and he said, I must get my parents' blessings. So before he went to school to write the board exam, he bent down and touched his parents' feet and got their blessings. And I said, what do you know about living in New York? Have you lived in New York? No, ma'am. Have you gone to New York? No, ma'am. Have you found out anything special about New York? No, ma'am. I said, you are an Indian person living in India. Ma'am, but I don't like stories which have Indian names. That's why it has to be Charlie, and that's why it has to be New York. I said, Acha, chalo, okay. You want a story about Charlie who is writing. Do you know that in New York they have board exams? Stop.
Does he know that
He stopped. He stopped. Exactly that. Feet. Huh? He stopped. I said, they don't have board exams in New York. Oh, this was a boy in class 6 or 7. Huh? Oh, but ma'am, I thought board exams happen everywhere. I said, beta, they happen everywhere in India. But in New York, they don't happen. Oh, and I said, if it's a boy called Charlie, who's living in New York, this touching feet is an Indian habit. Nobody outside India goes around touching anybody's feet. Elder, parent, guru, pujari or whatever. We are Indian people, na? Which people? Your mother is Indian? Indian people anywhere in the world, but not Charlie. Who? Because they are Indian people. Okay, people who are basically Indian and now have gone and lived somewhere, their parents teach them. Then this is a white person. You find out and tell ma'am and she will tell. Okay? You find out and tell ma'am. I mean,
and also he can't tell that this is the first day of his board exam.
No, it's his story. He can say anything. But the story doesn't. Alright, guys. The story doesn't make sense because it's not matching. Okay?
It's mixed up.
It's exactly. So, what happens if we read a story like this? You're like, wait, that thing feels very peculiar. This doesn't make sense, and that doesn't make sense. So after some time, the questions in your head become big, and your eyes may be reading, but nothing is entering the brain because the questions are so big. And then you stop reading. So you are unable to hold the attention of your reader, and so your creative writing needs to be improved. It needs to be very different. Okay? So setting is, where is this story? In physical space, in time, in the year, in the day, wherever. Okay? In the place, yes. If a child is planning to run away in a small village, he will run away to some other house in the village. If a child runs away in Delhi, where will he go? Yeah, season matters. If you are planning to run away in summer, it's okay, you go in the winter. What about your woolens? In summer, you may have heat stroke if you have to go very far. In winter, you may freeze, and who's going to give you hot soup to eat if you're going very far? What are you doing in rainy season? No, then that is a later time. But today, now, how will you do this? Okay? So Charlie, if he is writing a board exam, suppose we say, okay, forget the board exam. Charlie has to go to school, and his bus has not come, and his parents are not waking up, and he has to write an exam. It is snowing. No buses are working. There are no parents. All the phone lines are dead. Now how can Charlie get to the exam?
Cycle.
It's snowing. Snow mein cycle nahi chalega. Very heavy snow. That is a ridiculous answer. That's the kind of answer you should not even think of. It's not smart analytic things which turn people off. Workshops and definitely never drive it. You'll suddenly start ice skating. You never ice skated in your life. Just now you say, oh wow. You're not Marvel Avengers heroes, okay? Oh right. And you would have got up at 3 in the morning to make your 9 o'clock exam so that you'll say it's snow, my parents are not getting up, now let me find a plank, I will smooth it, I will put wheels, I will do all these things. But it's not possible. Can you imagine doing this? It is not physical. Think of yourself having such a problem. How will you go? We won't be able to. You will just have to walk. If you cannot find any adult to help you and there is no means and you have no school to get to, you will simply walk. And if it is snowing, what will you do? What?
I will put the AC on. Let me break away because of the AC.
Okay, houses are centrally heated. It doesn't work like that. Too many reality checks. So that brings the story to another point possibly. He decides, okay, I can't go to school and that's okay because maybe most people can't get to school. So the exam has happened. Or even if it does, only 5 people out of 30, 250 write the exam. So it doesn't matter.
Maybe I can follow if we just leave the school and we find out nobody is there.
Yes. There are so many connections.
I'm just walk with the heater. Switch on the heater.
Now we come to the third element. Oh, the time is almost up. I brought 2 more books to read to you, but there's no time, so I'll just race through the rest of it. I will go through the rest of it. Hold your contributions. Your story or your book will work if it has a theme. Okay? We talked about character. No, listen. We've talked about a character, we've talked that the character needs to be well developed in the sense we must know mentally, emotionally, physically how this character is, even if we don't tell the reader all those things. Should I stop? I'm happy to stop because I don't believe in forcing people to do something. You will have to hold your question, please. If you want me to stop, I'll stop. Because the time is over. Otherwise, if you want, I can finish this in the next 5 or 10 minutes quickly. Should I finish? Okay. So, of course, once you have created a well fleshed out character and the character has a goal or a motivation, there are other people in the story, and the goal itself creates the story. What is happening in the story? What are the events that take place? What is the wins and the losses? What are the encouragements that the main character gets and the disappointments that the main character gets? but still the story has to be about something bigger. So, in the case where we talk about the child who wants to find out, does my mother love me or not? What is the theme? What is the core? Of course, it's a story, but it's about how children always want to know. No matter how much the parents tell them or show them, children always want to know once more, yet again, and to feel really that their parents love them. Children always need this. Have you noticed when your parents get a prize or do something fabulous, what is very important to them? That your grandparents should be happy and proud. Now your parents are adults. They have children of their own. But they never stop wanting that their parents should be proud of them, should love them, should feel good about them, should feel good around them. Okay, so that's one theme. Friendship can be a theme. Betrayal can be a theme. Okay? So you can have so many different kinds of themes. We should take care of it. Our environment can be a theme. How something we do where we are not thinking very carefully. We say something or we do something and we can cause a terrible accident for somebody else. That can be a thing that we need to be careful. We need to be thoughtful in our words and in our actions. Okay? Okay, point of view. In otherwise known as Sheila the Great, this is a third person point of view. Sheila said, Libby said, okay, he, she, etc. There is no I in this, right? The story is told by somebody else. It's like I'm standing and reading to you. Libby said this, Sheila said this, mother said this, dad said that. Third person point of view. In cosmic, I did this, I said that. First person, exactly, just like English grammar. First person. Now, why is it important whether you write your story in first person or third person? Because it's going to be a totally different story. If you pick one of the characters, and that character is the I am Liam, I don't know what is going on inside my mother's head or inside my father's head or inside my friend's head. I can only say how I see them behave, what expressions I see on their face, and report the things they say in front of me. Suppose my mom and dad are having a fight somewhere else when I'm at school. I can't know about it because I'm not physically there and the whole story is being told from my point of view. Okay? So I will be able to share in detail what I'm feeling, what I'm thinking. I may not show it to the other person. That's the first person point of view. In a third person point of view, you can roughly speaking know what's going on everywhere, but you can't get so deep inside the head and feelings of any of your characters. Yeah.
Mostly the first person is in autobiography and books of famous
Autobiographies are necessarily and memoirs are necessarily first person. What about second person? Second person is sometimes, like in famous 5 books, what do you read? Oh,
there's a first person is Sheila, so
Julie, no. Second person is when the writer is telling the whole story and at the end there is a you. Yeah. Don't tell me first person. Please focus. I'm only talking about second person. We've done first and third person. Aapko only bolna. No, you are not going to repeat the whole thing. There is no time. Only second person. I'm not asking questions. Okay. Second person, for instance, is Julian, Dick, Anne, and George, and Timmy the dog, the famous 5, right? They had this lovely adventure and they promised that they would write about it and say, in a book. And that is the book you are holding, and I hope you enjoyed reading it. This is second person. When the you comes at the end. Sometimes the you may come throughout the story, and you may find out that the you is somebody who is important to the narrator. Or you may find out the you is some unknown person who till the end you don't find out who that you is. Yeah. Don't stand. Why? In the end, yes, absolutely. And in the end when it talks about the Queen of England and all of that, yes. And has sent it to you. Yes. Yes. Okay? But typically in a second person story, the you will be peppered throughout the book. Okay?
Ma,
Yes.
can you give an example of the third person story?
This one. Sheila. Okay? This one is third person. I'll read you. Just a drop. I'll read you just a drop. It's a funny thing about mothers and fathers. Even when their own child is the most disgusting little blister you could ever imagine, they still think he or she is wonderful. Some parents go further. They become so blinded by adoration, they manage to convince themselves their child has qualities of genius. Blah, 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 blah. Then, Matilda was both of these things, both brilliant and sensitive. But above all, she was brilliant. Her mind was so nimble and she was so quick to learn that her ability should have been obvious to the most half-witted of parents. But blah blah blah. So, third person. Okay? He, she, it. When there is no I, that's your third person. I just read you a first person. Second person, bits of the BFG. Okay, even the witches. Actually, if you read The Witches by Roald Dahl, that's the second person book.
Mom, I've read it.
Okay. Super quickly, if you want your story to be fun, you have to make it like this. You start somewhere. The story, you start here. This is the beginning of the story. Okay? The tension keeps increasing. Tension goes higher and higher and higher and higher. Okay? Yes, exactly. Finally, you get to the climax. This is the most dangerous, most the tensest, when Harry Potter meets Voldemort, okay? Or when now the child is preparing to run away and the mother says to the Masi, when I was pregnant with this child, I didn't want to have the baby. This child is like, okay, my life is over. My mother is saying she didn't want me. From there, you come out. Okay, how does the person solve the problem? But that is not the end. All the little bits and pieces that are unresolved.
Suppose, oh, I'm so sorry, I have destroyed somebody's, whatever it was.
It's just clay, you can make it again.
Whatever little subplots, they were having to destroy. I killed them. Whatever little subplots. Suppose there were two friends who were fighting. One second. In this story, there were two friends that were fighting. No, those are the main characters. Generally some people were fighting, some argument was happening, there was a little surprise, or there was a box that you wrote about, this mystery box. It was some chota mota mystery. You have to solve all those problems here. Okay? last closing thing about something called voice. Voice is very, very difficult, and it is not the voice of any character. It is the way that an author writes the book. So when you read a book, do you immediately get the sense that this is a serious sort of book? I think I'll close it, okay, because they're not listening. Okay, thanks all. Bye.
It's okay. Huh?
Can you please complete?
Are you sure?
Yes,
I'm saying voice is very important. Voice is not the voice of any one character, but the sense that you get when you read the book. Is this a serious book? Is this a funny book? Is this a book about somebody who is very angry but trying not to be angry? Is this a book about somebody who's really, really sad because all their friends have left them, or they are not able to make friends at this new school? Is this a book about that? Is the voice. And even funny things that happen in that book, this voice will stay true. You will know what sort of book it is. Okay? So I hope this helps you guys in your reading. Read more and look for these things, identify these things, and definitely I hope it helps you in your writing. Okay, thank you very much.